Hotep, fam, Hotep. Hope everybody doing okay out there. Been off the air for a minute. Always reading, trying to put something into the psyche. But I had just wanted to put this video out there. You know, I had asked a friend of mine, what's a Christian? So he wanted to tell me that a Christian was a follower of Jesus. But oftentimes, people don't know that they're so plugged into something that they don't even know what they plugged into. Nobody in the Bible was real. Isaac, Abraham, them people wasn't real, but yet it's too complicated. Some people's just so plugged into these slave stories and don't read about the slave codes of 1724 and things of that nature, and what they really done to us in 1619 when they so-called was first supposed to be bringing us over here. But before Jesus, they had another god, the Romans, and these people, you have to realize at that time, the Romans was the ruling people at that time. And so, what they had did during the period of Alexander the Great, around the 3rd century BC, about 389, 325 to 389, and even longer, these people had created this other image of a god before Jesus called Serapis. Serapis was a god that these people celebrated for almost 400 years, from about 325 BCE to 325 or 389 AD. And they changed this marble image of Serapis into Jesus. And it took the Roman councils over 900 years to figure out, was Jesus really real? Now, the way that they created this god Serapis, they made him from two other gods, African gods. And one of those African gods was Osiris. And the other one was the god Apis. You can look this up. You can look this up on your encyclopedia. The god Apis. Apis god. Now, during the reign of Constantine the Great, around 325 AD, he wanted to change this marble image of Serapis. Wanted to change it. Take a good look. Into Jesus. And they had a long time deciding whether or not they was going to change this marble figure. But at this time, people were still celebrating Serapis. And some people don't realize this. And I found out they have another book. If you can go into your encyclopedia called the Koine Bible. It's Koine Bible. And you'll see that these people had another name for Jesus when they was writing. These African people was writing this, was they used this name Yahshua. And all the story is in there. You're going to see this name Yahshua when you get to that Bible. Later on, they changed Yahshua into Jesus, but they had already had Serapis too, way before Jesus, which is another sun deity. And we have to understand that it's codes in these books representing light. God is the light. God is nothing but yourself. It's the light that's in you. It is the sun. And the light the light also comes in darkness, but people don't know this. You know, you could take pictures with some people and see these photons that be glowing around them. You know, we have a lot of light and energy and electricity that comes from us. So the light is always giving off some type of energy. You know, radiation, and this radiation expands, and then the expansion that expands, and we get movement from all of this. And that's all that light is. And it says in a couple of different scriptures that the light is in you, but some people don't want to go in the book. They want to go by the book. But you'd be surprised what's in the book. But it's other Christ figures that was out there way before Jesus that was born on December 25th by a virgin. And we have to understand that this is nothing but the pattern and movements of the sun. And it takes the sun 6 months to move from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn to the Tropic of Cancer. And when it gets just about halfway past that point, that's when the Passover is. That's when this other resurrection comes from this sun. Every month from the season, in the season that starts the season, is a powerful month. And you have to understand, because it starts a movement pattern. You have Aquarius that starts the winter, or Capricorn. You have Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So Capricorn is a very powerful month in January, the end of December and January, because it starts off the winter. It's generating. But as it comes to the end of March, it starts degenerating, you know. And now we're getting ready for the spring. So the sun is getting stronger now once it gets past that point. And by this next 3 months, when it gets to June, it'll be nice and warm. But then after June 21st, the sun starts falling again. It starts winding, because it's going to be winding because it's preparing to die again. So we just have to understand some of these movements and what they're talking about. And these was a sacred sciences, and actually sacred geometry, that these churches didn't want to deal with. And you have to stop reading these Bibles on a 4th and 5th and 3rd grade level and such as that, and start getting into this book and see what it was about, and start finding out the dates and things of that nature. But I can tell you that Jesus never existed. There wasn't no Jesus. You can find out in Acts 10:38-39, where they slew Jesus on a tree. As this is 8 years after 33 AD. This is 41 AD. That this was supposed to happen. And a lot of people is not even really familiar with this story, but I'm going to read it real quick. Acts 10:38-39. We're going to see what this says. Now this says, how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and with power. He went about doing good and healing all who were oppressed by the devil, for God was with him. Now, let me remind you that it says, let me read this again, how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and with power. Now, he had power, and he went about doing good and healing all who were oppressed by the devil. He done this with all his power, for God was with him. Now, let's go to 39. And this is Paul supposed to be talking. This is 41 AD. And we are witnesses of all things which he did, both in the land of the Jews and in Jerusalem, whom they killed by hanging on a tree. And this is 41 AD that this is supposed to happen. You know, Jesus is supposed to have already been took up in the sky. But evidently he's still walking around. You know why he's walking around? Because he is a made-up character. He's not real. Jesus is the light that's within you. You know, they give you a lot of codes in here, but oftentimes people don't pick these codes up and they go around here doing silly things. Doing all this old praying. All that stuff ain't going no further than right here to your own mind. Because that's where God is, in your own mind. You ain't never going to see no God at no church. These people have just done tricked you so you can fund their lifestyles. Sell you a dream. Sell you a fairy tale story. Because that's what they doing. Selling you a fairy tale story. And these people never existed. There's some amazing stuff sometimes I find in here. You would really be surprised. And you have to start going in the book and stop going by the book. You know, let me show you how sometimes silly this is. Where people often sometimes go around and they talk about you know, they go around here, sorry about that, I had to see something here. They go around here, you know, people talk about nobody seeing God, nobody seeing God. I had a friend of mine, he told me, nobody's seeing God, that ain't in the Bible. I said, oh yes it is, it's in there. So he said, okay, send it to my phone, send it to my phone. And I did. A lot of people don't know this is in there. God was getting ready to kill Moses too, pissing God off in this Bible. But a lot of people don't read that. But this is where it says, this is in Exodus 33. So the Lord spoke to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. This is 33:11. So the Lord spoke to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. Now that's what it's saying in 11. Now let's go over to 19. He said, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before you, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But he said, you cannot see my face. This is 20. This is Exodus 33:20. But he said, you cannot see my face, for no man shall see me and live. And the Lord said, here is a place by me, and you shall stand on the rock. Now Moses just seen him face to face, and Moses is supposed to have lived. Even though these are myth stories, you start reading and you start seeing how silly they've been. And it even gets better. Because some other people have seen God too. Now this is Exodus 24. It says, then Moses went up, also Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. Go down to 10. And they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet as it were a paved work of sapphire stone, and it was like the very heavens in the clarity. But on the nobles of the children of Israel he did not lay his hand. So they saw God, and they ate and drank with God. Read Exodus 24. So don't go around, you know, saying that nobody never seen God. Because this is a myth story. God is within yourself. This is just some BS that they made up to trick your mind. And they have enslaved black people with these stories, but we have to get in more story, into this to see why we so afraid of a lot of these things that's in here and don't know these other things that's in here that you shouldn't be afraid of. The Muslims don't like this book, even though the same people who wrote this created the Quran for them, but they talk about taking a lot of land, and I'm going to make another video about that too. But just as something to put on you, but before Jesus, there was Serapis, who was made into Jesus by Constantine the Great and the Council of Nicaea. They made that. And this was around 325 AD. Now you can look this up with Alexander the Great and Ptolemy the First Soter. That was his general. This is in the 3rd century. This will be the 3rd century BC. And you can look this up. But like I said, this is Serapis, who they made into Jesus. Take a good look. This is who they made into Jesus Christ. And people need to know that. This is just one of them. There were other Christ figures too that was born on December 25th before Jesus. But I think I had already did a video on that one. I might do another one, but look up Serapis, look it up in your encyclopedia. He came way before Jesus. Jesus was not born in no 4th century BCE. That is a lie. And Hotep. Till next time. Peace.